Good evening, my name is Aine Duffy and you're welcome to Cavan TV's News and Views. The programme is brought to you weekly on Fridays 7 to 8. Each week we take a look at what is going on in the county and we invite guests to chat live in the studio. So, if you would like to be a correspondent for your area, you can email us at drumlamedia@gmail.com. An interesting story in your area? Please do let us know. This week my guests are Michael Dunne from Ballina, who will talk about Ballina's GAA 125th anniversary, and also later I will speak to Jean Cullivan, who was at the launch of the official opening of the Astroturf pitch in Langgam. So to the news of the week. Well, the Junior Minister for Sport, Michael Ring, was also at the launch of the Astroturf pitch. Last week, and for some international news now, last week former British Prime Minister Baroness Margaret Thatcher died. She was 87. She was Prime Minister of Great Britain from 1979 to 1990. She was also known as the Iron Lady because of her tough policies. In 1985, she signed the Anglo-Irish Agreement with the then Taoiseach Gareth Fitzgerald. This gave Ireland a say in Northern Ireland's administration for the first time. In Great Britain, there was a lot of enmity towards her leadership, as her dealings with the Coal Miners' Union and the Northern Ireland hunger strikers was not favourable. She will be buried next Tuesday with full military honours. Locally in Cavan, rumours of a takeover of McCarnes & Co. mount. When contacted, MD Andrew McCarne would not comment. Speculation is that the company could be taken over by the giant meat processing company Kepak. There is also an investigation into alleged paperwork irregularities. Again, no comment from McCarne & Co. And to local town news. Well, in Arva, the Arva Trotters group, which is a walking group, will be out each Sunday morning at 11:15 and starting point is in the Market Square. Everybody is welcome. Also in Arva, Come Dine With Me, which has been rescheduled for May the 4th, will be in the Breffni Hotel, and it's hoped that everybody who was to attend will do so on the Sunday night. In Ballina news, as we said before, this year Ballina celebrates its 125th anniversary. Massive celebrations are planned for the June bank holiday weekend. In Killishandra, Active Age are organising the annual spring break for the Killishandra Milltown area. The trip is to the Arklow Bay Hotel in Wicklow, and it's from Monday, April the 29th to Thursday, May the 2nd. The price is €289 all inclusive, and there you contact Marion on 033 4990 to book a place. Cornafane news. The ladies' GAA team are having an American-style tea party in McShane's Lounge on Sunday, May the 5th. The fundraiser is to aid the club's activities. Mullaghorn news. The play Victor Stung is being hosted by the GAA club in the football rooms. It will be on Sunday, April the 25th. It's an absolutely hilarious play written and performed by Seamus O'Rourke. Cootehill, the aptly named walking group Happy Feet, continue to meet on Wednesday evenings at 7. The meeting place is St Michael's Hall, Cootehill. Bono, the annual Spring Clean is taking place this Saturday, tomorrow the 13th. Volunteers are asked to gather at the church at 7 o'clock. In Ghana news, Active Age is having a social morning in the community centre at 12 o'clock next Tuesday. All welcome. Well, where to go and what to do this weekend in Cavan? Well, I have been asking everybody for the last couple of weeks, everybody who could, to enter the Rose of Tralee, and now the big night is here. The Cavan Rose of Tralee will be crowned tonight in the Kilmore Hotel tonight. There are 9 hopeful contestants. It starts at 8 o'clock, and the compere on the night is Conor Phillips from Northern Sound. Do go along and support all the girls. The Cavan Trad Festival starts next week. It starts on Wednesday night the 17th with a big trad session in the Farnham Arms Hotel. There will be music workshops all over County Cavan, and on Saturday the 20th of April, Cacogie Village will stage a tribute concert for the late Sean Maguire, one of Ireland's best known fiddle players. RTÉ's Cayley House will be broadcast from there with Kieran O'Halloran. The fest ends on Sunday the 21st with a trad mass in Tullochmongan Resource Centre. Okay, so now I go to my first guest in the studio tonight, and that's Michael Dunne. Michael is the PRO of Ballina GAA. We welcome Michael. Thank you for coming in this evening.
Thanks,
Thank you. As I said, Michael, you're the PRO of Ballina GAA, and it's celebrating 125 years this year.
Yeah.
So just to give us information, give us a brief history of Ballina GAA Club.
Yeah, just to give you a brief history about the club on you. Ballina GAA was founded in 1888, and this year we celebrate our 125-year anniversary, which is brilliant. If we look back in the old archives, it appears that Ballina was under the name of Erin's Hope, and we affiliated in 18...
That was the name of the club?
Yes. It was Erin Hope was the name that appears, so we affiliated in 1889 as that name. I think we had a few barren years in between that, and we won our first junior championship in 1913, which is very ironic considering that's 100 years as well this year. So we're celebrating the 100 years since we won the junior championship.
Have you any idea where the first football pitch was in Ballina?
I think if someone would have said now, I'm a bit too young to remember that, but Lowry's Field would be one of the...
On the Killalek
Road was where I would have been told there, so one of the football fields there. But you'd want to ask someone that played way back in them days, but that's where...
They're still around if it was 100 years ago.
Yeah. But the thing being is, the follow on from the 1913, I suppose we've been lucky down the years. We've won minor championships, we've won junior championships, under 21 championships, and intermediate championship. The only championship I suppose we haven't won is, well, it's 1960. It was never played, and it's down in the history books as the only championship never played. Ballina was meant to play Bailieborough, and for some reason the game was suspended on a couple of occasions. Bailieborough thought they had it won the first time, but the county board had given them the game, but it was overturned. When Ballina went to the Ulster Council, Ballina awarded the game, but Ballina didn't want to play the game because they thought, in fairness, that it wouldn't be fair to take the cup. So that final was never played. Probably our biggest achievement, though, and I know it's not fair to single out each achievement, and it was great to win anything, but I suppose the most recent cup was the 2007. We won the Ulster Intermediate Championship. That was brilliant because we're the only club in Cavan to actually have won that Ulster Intermediate. That's a proud record. A lot of hard work would have went into that. Both past and present members would have given a lot of service to the club, and that was a great day when we won that day. There was tears of joy. It was a community effort. People were delighted, and it's probably one of the highlights of the club. That was winning the 2007 Ulster Intermediate Championship. So also, we've been lucky down the years as well. Ballina have contributed a lot of players to the county teams. I suppose it wouldn't be fair here to start mentioning all the players played, but we've had a lot of them down the years, and I suppose the most current lads that's playing on the team is Niall Riley, Niall McDermott and Pádraig Riley. So I suppose on behalf of the club, the championship's on now in a few weeks, so the first round of the championship, so all the best to them lads who are participating in that.
Well done, Michael, you're very good, and you brought in some photos of the club. Yeah,
there's just a few photographs there that that shows kind of...
What year do you think that is around?
That's around late 70s, that one there. 70s. The late 70s, yeah. That was a league final there in 99.
Did you win that final?
We did, we won that final there.
Good,
yeah,
well done.
We won that one there. That was 2007 now, that's what I'm talking about. That was the one there, that was the Ulster Intermediate Championship, and I suppose that was, as I mentioned, it was a great day for the club, and it was a lot of hard work and effort, and we're delighted to be still the only team in Cavan to have actually won an Ulster. So
in recent years there's been a lot of work as well done to the football grounds and the rooms and everything down there, hasn't there?
Yes, there's
it's ongoing, I think.
It's ongoing, but listen, during the good times, I suppose there was a lot of work done by all the committees, but during that time and continuing today, Ballina are proud of the fact that we've 2 playing fields, we've won training fields, and we've won ordinary for games. We've a modern stand, which is brilliant. We've dressing rooms, we've car parking, we've car parking, and
we've great progress in just a few short years. Because I remember they used to just change in the galvanised hut at the.
I would have changed. Very funny to say that, because I would have, when I started off my senior career, that's what I would have tugged out in that.
It's not that long ago, really.
No, it's only, I suppose, go back maybe 15 years ago, 15, 20 years.
So a great lot of work in 15 years.
A huge amount, as you can see. Anybody that's down there, the walking track, you see people down the evening, walking tracks there, the Astroturf's there.
Is it lit the whole way around the walking track?
Up the top it is, yes.
Up at the top.
Up the top it's lit there, and it's great for the community of Ballina, not just the footballers.
Okay, so Michael, we have another photograph coming up on the screen there, and tell us all about that.
Yeah, that's it. We had a launch night there a few weeks ago in Brady's bar in Ballina, which for the Frank Brady Memorial Tournament. Basically, the whole concept of the gathering this year is we're celebrating 125 years. So we thought to ourselves, what could we do to actually celebrate this? So we organised the Frank Brady Memorial Tournament.
Well, tell us about Frank Brady.
Frank Brady, the reason why we sat down as a committee and we said that we'd have the Frank Brady Memorial Tournament. Frank passed away there a few months ago, and basically we said we'd have this tournament in honour of him. But just to give you a history about Frank, Frank would have left... he emigrated over to England, and he resided in Coventry. Roger Casements was his club. So Frank over there, he actually he was at the forefront in regards to organising, fundraising, and in general helping with the club. I know he's president of the Roger Casements Club, and he was chairman of a few committees in regards to the fundraisings.
But he didn't forget Ballina at the same time?
No, he didn't forget Ballina. He didn't. Frank Brady always had his ties to Ballina, and basically he always checked back to see how Ballina was getting on. When he came home during the summer, he would actually call into Brady's bar, and he'd have a pint with a few of his mates, and to catch up with how Ballina was doing, how the county was doing. And also with that, Frank, being the discreet, quiet man he was, he would have give contributions to the club, but would have made no fuss about it. So we were delighted that night. The photograph you've seen up there in Brady's bar, we had his partner Mary came over from Roger Casements. So basically Roger Casements have decided to participate in this tournament.
Great. So as a tribute to Frank Brady, you are dedicating a tournament to him on the weekend. Tell us about the tournament. You're some pretty good teams.
Yeah. The tournament is going to be a very high standard on you, and we're thrilled and delighted and to get these teams down, and it's great to get in the show so to give people an idea of the competition that's taking place in it. But so the way it's working, on the Saturday, the 1st of June, the tournament will start. It will, and in the evening there's going to be a semi-final at 5:30 and another semi-final at 7 p.m. At 5:30 p.m. the first match will take place, and the second game at 7, and then the ladies, just to mention, will be on at 3 o'clock.
Yes, of course, the ladies are taking part as well.
So that will be St. Paul's or Roscommon and Roger Casements ladies. Whoever wins the semi-finals then will play on the Sunday. The Sunday is going to be the big day in regards to...
You're having a parade or parade?
On that day, we have a programme of events that day.
Okay, and you also are having a big... You have the president of the...
Yes,
Which,
so the Sunday, we're delighted. So what way is going to work Sunday? We're going to have Mass for deceased members at 11 a.m. on the Sunday morning. Later on that afternoon, then we're having a parade from the church. The parade, Sean Kelly is going to lead. Piper, is going to lead us down to town. Basically, we want to get everybody involved in this. So what we're doing is we're having all the juveniles, we're having present members, and all the teams who can attend. This parade is going to take down as far as the community centre.
Okay.
When we get there, then the match will take place. The final, yes. We hope to have a big crowd at the final, but that day we're honoured to have 3 distinguished guests with us that day. The 3 distinguished guests being Uachtaran of the Cumann, Luke Cascale, Liam O'Neill, the president, so that's brilliant. Former president Egan Farrell, and our own county board chairman Tom O'Reilly.
Okay, so you're having a dinner dance the evening before, a big gala dinner dance.
No, that's the Sunday evening.
On the Sunday evening.
Yes.
Now you want to to just give a brief mention to your sponsors.
Yeah, the sponsors, to give them, McDermott's our main sponsor, but then we've loads of associated sponsors, so we're thrilled to have all them sponsors. We are ourselves.
So you hope to reach to the diaspora, England, America, Australia, you would like this to reach everybody, get them back to Ballina for Whit Weekend, celebrate the 125th anniversary, show them the good points about Ballina.
Yeah, that's basically, Aine, that's the whole, when we started off as a committee, that's what we want. We want to get, we have our own website, which is at ballinagA.com, and this is up and running. We're trying to promote it on local news. We're great to get an opportunity at Cavan TV, but we want to get people, everybody that's left Ballina, we want them, get them back on that weekend. We want them to get a positive experience.
Yeah, well, you sure did a lot of work, Michael.
Yeah.
Just on the screen now, we're putting up your list of sponsors who have helped to make this event this weekend. So there you are, folks. Ballina's Club, 125th anniversary, the Festival for the Gathering, Whit Weekend. Yeah. Michael, PRO of Ballina GAA, thank you very much for coming into the studio this evening. Thanks,
right.
Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, so earlier in the day I spoke to Jean Cullivan, who is synonymous with soccer in Cavan. Jean, thanks for coming into the studio this afternoon.
Thank you.
You were at the launch of the official opening of the Astroturf pitch in Talib recently.
Yes.
It was opened there by the Junior Minister for Sport, Michael Ring.
Yes.
So how did the day go?
The day went very well. There were plenty of politicians. A lot of the soccer fraternity were there as well. And the sun shone. So it was a very enjoyable day. It was a proud day for us soccer people of Cavan because we have these wonderful facilities now to forward our game.
So this for Tullochmongan, this was their ultimate to have this Astroturf pitch, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Jean, as I said, your name is synonymous with soccer in Cavan. Tell me how did you get interested in soccer initially?
Initially, my interest sprung from the fact that in St Patrick's College, Cavan, where I was at the time, there were a number of students from other counties, Longford, Louth, Donegal, Wicklow, and they didn't play Gaelic football. Gaelic football was the big game in St Pat's College at that time. And they were given permission to play soccer on the hill. And that's where my interest began.
So that was in the 1950s, and it would have been...
end of the 1940s, yes.
End of the 1940s, 1950s.
Yes.
So soccer was not very well known at that time as a game.
Not really. Although in the 20s there was a famous Cavan team called the Strollers, and they used to play in competitions, cross-border competitions. They were a famous team. Yeah.
I had the notion from times gone by that people considered soccer to be of English influence.
Yes, well, the history of soccer would indicate that the Italians played a game called calcio way back in the 15th, 16th centuries. The game did spread to England and then eventually to South America. And it's interesting that the Italians and the Brazilians and the South Americans, the other South American teams play marvellous sort of cultured football.
Their skills are very good.
Skills, yes.
So to get back to the start of the soccer, so they started up a team in the 50s in Cavan.
That's right.
In St Pat's?
No, not in St Pat's.
That was the borders of St Pat's.
The borders of St Pat's, yes,
were very interested in the soccer.
Yes, yes. And then a man called Jack Norrie formed a team in Cavan Town, a Cavan Town team, and they participated in the FAI Junior Cup. And that team existed for a few years and then it broke up. And the next step forward would have been in the middle 50s when Cavan Shamrocks were set up and they participated in the Longford Summer League.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we know that a soccer pitch is smaller than a GAA pitch, so where did you get a field to play on at that time? Did you have your own grounds?
No, we didn't have our own grounds. Well, we did. We played in a field called Donoghue's Field, which is now the car park of the third level college. That was the 1950s team. And then when we started up in the 1956 in the Longford League, we played away from home. All those games were played away from home. And then eventually we acquired a pitch at Derry Cramp.
What year was that?
The pitch at Derry Cramp probably came in the early 60s. And at that time, our main sponsor was John McGinty and his son Peter. We used to hold a draw there every Sunday night
to raise funds
for the acquisition of the pitch. There were 3 guarantors for the pitch: myself, Jerry Egan, and the late Ken Simpson. The pitch was bought at Derry Cramp for £3,600 at the time. A large sum of money.
Was that a lot of money in those days?
It was a lot of money in those days, yes. But we had this £100 draw every Sunday night in McGinty's, and there was also a Yankee bet, seven races. And
is this all year round fundraising?
Yes.
Every week, all year round?
Yes, all year round,
so
yes.
a lot of dedication there from
There was a lot, we had great dedicated sellers, and and the McGinty's contributed some money as well. There were 5 extra prizes, and then there was a group. Peter McGinty would have a group playing on Sunday night, so it was a very friendly and happy Sunday night, because somebody was going to have £100 on their way home, or some of the other assorted prizes.
So what kind of guys played soccer in those days? Like you had your GAA team.
Yes.
And you didn't transverse. You didn't cross both, or did you stick to one or the other?
Well, no. We had players who played both teams really. Sometimes there would be band and that, but no,
When you say band,
Rule 29 would prohibit GA players from playing soccer, or rugby.
So if you played soccer, and GAA became aware of it,
you could. You
were banned
probably
from the team.
Probably yes, from GAA. Yes, probably. Yeah.
So was there a stigma to playing soccer in those days?
Well, there was, all right, in those days, yeah. Although I always say that when I used to go up to the international matches up at Dalymount Park, I would see Gaelic players there, but of course they would have their collars turned up and their cap pulled down, yes.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Well, they would suffer accordingly if they didn't.
So thankfully that's all gone.
That's all gone, yeah, of course, yeah.
So to go back to the club now, and 11 on the soccer team, of course.
Yes.
And they'd have their trainer.
Yes.
All their evenings to train, and the away matches and everything like
Yeah.
that. So when did you start winning championships or leagues?
Well, we had some very good teams in when the club was reorganised in '76. We had a tremendous season where we won all the main cups. We won the league cup, and the cup itself. And what should I say there? We paid for training time in the Cavan Vocational School. So they had an all-weather pitch on the outside, and we used to do half an hour training outside and then half an hour circuit training inside. Yeah. The result was that at the end of a match, we would probably be moving into higher gear, Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we won that. We didn't lose a match that particular season. That was '76, yeah.
So what would you say that the influence was of the English Premier League was having on the growth of soccer in Ireland at this time?
Well, I'd say it would have a large influence, because...
Can I stop you there? Is that why soccer was frowned upon, because it was considered an English influence?
Probably, it probably would, yeah. They used to call it the garrison game, that the English soldiers all played it and so on and so forth. But That changed in time, you
That's
know.
pretty goodness.
Yeah, of course it did.
So it did have, the English Premier did have an influence.
Probably
They began
did.
to know their players and
Yeah.
get familiar with the
Yeah.
teams over there.
Yeah, Manchester United and those teams, you know, they were talked about in every home, I would say. The influence of the papers too, Sunday papers and that, you know, and the results
And
and all
the
that.
amount, the colossal amount of the earnings those players made.
Oh yeah,
It,
yeah, yeah.
how did that influence Cavan players?
Oh well,
Did they ever
we.
aspire to have been on that kind
Oh
of
well, I suppose
level?
yeah. It was always at the back of people's minds. I suppose that players' minds that the chance might come someday, as it did to Johnny Giles and Liam Brady and Eamon Dunphy and Johnny Carey and Stapleton
actually,
and all those.
Yeah, in Ballina at the moment we've got a young player out there who's with
Celtic.
Celtic.
Yes,
Young
McCabe lad. Yes, very good.
What age?
He's 16, but he's 6'4". You see, he's a huge goal lad for goals. Tremendous.
So when you're at that level, when you're chosen at that level for soccer, do you have to say goodbye to Gaelic?
Yes, there's a time when you'd have to concentrate. Yeah.
So that's just out of skills rather than any political sort of thing.
If the window of opportunity came, you know, you couldn't divide your loyalties. You would go if you're going to play for a team like Glasgow Celtic, that would be a very high point. You'd have to be very skilled and you'd have to be very well trained, and you couldn't be dividing your time between soccer and rugby and Gaelic and soccer. You know, you'd have to concentrate really. And
obviously, the remuneration would be
cash
as
would
well.
be the big factor. Yeah, it would be. Yes.
So you were saying earlier, if you were good at soccer, you could play for.
Yes, you could play for your country. You could play for your country. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
But you never, will GAA ever become
international?
Professional. It
Um,
won't.
It would be hard to see that happening because initially it was always to be an amateur game, do you know? And I couldn't see it. I couldn't see full-time professional.
Okay. So well done to young McCabe from Ballina and been at that level at 16.
Oh yes, he's very good. Yeah, I mean they're all also Martin Riley, who now plays with the Gaelic team. He played abroad too, and there's.
Can they bring back some of that training that they had there with the English clubs? Can they bring that back?
Of course they can.
As well?
Of course, yeah. Of course they can. Yeah, yeah.
What kind of trainers do you have here with training the guys at the moment in Cavan?
We have all our
coaches, I should say.
All our coaches go on courses. They wouldn't be allowed to train a team unless they were qualified. So they all have done Kickstart 1, which is the basic, and then some of them have gone on to Kickstart 2, which is a higher qualification. I'm sure that some of them will go and get full coaching badges and all that eventually, you know.
Okay, we've a famous coach here in Cavan, Tom Mohan.
Yes.
Tell me about Tom.
Tom played with Finn Harps, League of Ireland. I think he's from County Fermanagh himself, and was a very skillful footballer. He would have liaised with Sean McCaffrey from Monaghan, who was running the under-19 squad, international squad. And Tom is a fully qualified coach, has a wonderful way with him, and is now in charge of the under-19 international team, as well as being development officer for Cavan Monaghan Underage League.
So it's great to have him.
He's yes, oh yes, of course, yes,
so
yes.
To get back, and we will see it later, a clip of the video of the official opening of the Astroturf pitch. On the day we had John Delaney, who's the CEO of the Football Association of Ireland.
Yes.
A great man for the game.
Yes, he has a great personality, and he talks easily with all manner of people.
And a great player himself in his day.
I didn't know that. Now you've caught me on the hop there, because I didn't realise he played soccer. he certainly has the physique anyway to be a goalkeeper. I don't know what position he played in. If he was centre half, then he'd be worth having on the team, you know, at that height. Yeah.
So there was at the launch there was supposed to be a climax of the end of a league on the day.
Well, it was a quadrilangular tournament.
Okay.
Sorry, got that word wrong there.
Tell on.
There were 4 teams involved in it, and there were Armagh City, Glasgow Celtic, Dublin District Schoolboys League, and Cavan Monaghan Underage League. And they all played each other under lights. The first night, under lights.
This is in Langgam?
No, not all.
Not all.
No. The first 2 games were played in Coothill's new Astroturf pitch under lights. And then the following day, a game was played at Tullochmungan. And the climax of the thing was the grand final was to be played in Balljamstuff in the afternoon of Wednesday. But unfortunately, some of the Glasgow Celtic players came down with food poisoning.
Oh dear, while they were staying here?
While they were staying and they weren't able to compete. So by default, Dublin and District won the trophy. It was a terrible disappointment for everybody because there was a large crowd there looking forward to what should have been a very exciting game. Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. So there was a good day had for the official opening of the Astroturf.
Yeah.
Now, what do you see now? And as I say, you're synonymous with soccer in Cavan. Jean, what can you see now in the future for soccer? Can you see anything great coming up in the future? What would you like to see yourself?
The fact of the matter now is that young players are being spotted and sought out very quickly. So coaches from Scotland and England are attending underage games in Cavan and in the other junior leagues round through the country, I'm sure. And young players are being picked up earlier. And due to the good work of Owen Hand, young players who go abroad are sure of getting their educational facilities continued.
That's very good for you.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Owen Hand was responsible for that. He got some kind of a player's charter.
So that's really good news for youngsters interested in soccer, because
yes.
I would say, like, 20 years ago, your chances of being a top soccer player were very few and far between. But with the spotters now and the good training for soccer, it actually is a dream that can come true.
It's quite possible,
That's
yes, quite possible.
And all the work you've done for the soccer club as well helps as well to create dreams. Okay, so we're going to cut to the video now of the launch, and Cavan TV went on the day and had a look at the official launch, and we were going to include it in our programme last week, but we just hadn't got time. So Jean, once again, I'd like to thank you very much for coming into the studio today and giving your knowledge and the benefit of your knowledge and your great support for soccer in Cavan. Thank you very much, Jean.
My pleasure.
Jean
Thank
Cullivan,
you.
Delighted to be here. How are you keeping?
Oh, it was great. You missed the match. There was a match.
Got held up now. There wasn't
a team from Armagh and the Celtic team.
Very cool.
Yes, it was great.
Very good, very good. Well, I tell you, we were down in it's lovely, isn't it?
I know it was great. The match was here.
I know.
How are you?
How are you? How are you? Oh, well done, well done. Well done. These are two, yeah, well done.
I'm with discovered with Irish heritage, so we make them playing for Ireland rather than Scotland.
On the pin, you know. We're ready. Playing for Ireland now, that's Scotland. Here. Well done. Fair play. Who was the match? What you win, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Good lad. What did you think of the ground?
Brilliant.
Yeah, nice.
That's the future.
Well, I had a busy schedule. I had I was sorry I missed the match because I would have gone forward, which is, I like those songs.
Great.
Yeah.
Guys won.
They won it. Yeah, no, it was great.
They actually stole the 6-yard box, holding the ball up to your top goal. Or actually, you're 3 months ago.
And he's after telling me, that the Halifax Irish in them,
Oh, yeah.
So when these guys make it, we want these fellas playing for Ireland. Yes. Where do you play in the team? All about you. Oh, very good.
Aine McGeady.
There you go. You can hold it up. Yeah, you can hold it up.
Aine McGeady and Arthur Guinness. That's it. That's all we need.
Very good.
Irish lady.
Hi, Sean, how are you?
Good to see you, Minister, and you too.
Good to see you. How are you? You're welcome to Cavan.
How are you? I'm good now.
I'm available now.
I have to. We won't use the language we used 30 seconds ago at the game the other night. We were side by side.
Look at the play. Well, I was just disappointed. Look at the sport. Well, that's it. That's the way it is. You know, you're right.
Pleased to meet you.
Remember the town council?
I did, Paddy. Pleased to meet you.
Heather.
How are you?
County manager here.
That's right. How are you?
John, how are you?
I should let me call you, but good to see you again.
There's Cullivan and Michael Dunne.
I know Jack well. So you're doing a few gigs, are you?
Yeah, we were just on the walking festival. Around the county in May.
Officially opening.
Closer and all of that stuff. So
You're opening here now in a moment.
we're opening here in a moment. Yeah, so it's
Paddy Jim's up there, right?
Have you picked here?
Yes, open there on Saturday. I don't know, you're back there, right?
Good. How are you?
Not too like last year.
Another weekend, yeah.
The gentleman on the television.
Yeah, no problem at all. I have to say, Jonathan,
So we have the Minister, Ray and John Delaney are going to make the presentations. So first, if we have Aaron Devlin from Armagh. Well done.
We're going to pick here.
That's lovely.
Okay. Sorry, the other way now.
That's a brilliant job. Okay, that's lovely. That's great.
Well done. Perfect, yeah. Well done.
Michael Johnson and Kenny Mearns from Glasgow Celtic. You go.
Well done.
Here you go.
We want both of them to play for Ireland, Michael.
I've already told him.
One on that. Now, there you go. How was that? We'll take him, Michael. Stop.
Lads, I'm going to get you all just to shuffle about 6 inches that way if we could.
Like a wall.
That's brilliant. That's it, lovely. Good smiles, lads, that's it, brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks, lads. Well done.
Trying to work. Okay, well done.
Lads, can we just get your name?
Good.
Okay. We're just everybody, ladies and gentlemen, you're very welcome here this afternoon, well into the afternoon now actually, for the official opening of our Astra pitch here this morning. We're delighted that the Minister could be with us, and John Delaney, the Chief Executive of the FAI. So we're delighted our Mayor, of course, would be perform the official welcome. Chairman of the County Council is here, and our local national representatives, Deputy Brenda Smith, Deputy Joe O'Reilly, and Deputy Heather Humphreys, and our local representative from both town and county. So this is, let's say, a culmination of a I suppose, I don't know, could you call it a programmed development along here, Patricia, but it was, I suppose, really. But starting with the resource centre and the pitches here, and they've gone through a number of incarnations right through to the fine facility we have here today. The dressing rooms are new as well, up to last year. Togging out was either courtesy of the resource centre or else from the back of your car, one or other here. But it's great to have the facilities here now, and we're delighted that there's all the local clubs have come together to actually run this facility, and they have their own management company with the clubs and Langgam Resource Centre have all come together to run it, and it's great from a local authority point of view that we are not really running the facility as such, but that the people that are interested in running it, and they've all been able to come together harmoniously to keep to run this great facility. As you see, we have an earlier development of the cage here for the 7-a-side cage as well. So I would just now like to ask the Mayor to do an official welcome here this morning, this afternoon.
Thanks, Manager. Minister Ring, members of the Oireachtas, fellow town councillors, Cathaoirleach of the County Council and members of the County Council, County Manager and members of the staff of both the County Council and the Town Council, Mr John Delaney, the CEO of the FAI, and guests. It's a great pleasure for me as Mayor of Cavan Town to officially welcome all of our distinguished guests, and indeed all of the people from the surrounding area today, to the official opening of the Astroturf pitches, and in particular to welcome Minister Ring and Mr Delaney and the two visiting teams as well who were here this morning. Many people from the area are very familiar with the facilities here, and for other of you it may be the first time that you're seeing it, but either way around I'm sure you'll be very, very impressed with the quality of the pitches and the changing rooms and the facilities that we have here. Having two all-weather pitches, one for 7-a-side and one full length, with fully floodlit, with changing rooms, has been a fantastic recent development for the local town, the local community, and for the soccer clubs, and indeed for many of the other sporting codes that would often use it. And indeed, if it wasn't for, I think we have to acknowledge the fact that the local community have been very proactive over many, many years in ensuring that this part of the area was kept as an amenity area, and I think there was very great strong lobbying and great determination that this area would be kept for these kind of purposes. So the local community, for their strength of character in trying to make sure that this happened, have to be congratulated, and then them passing it on to the Town Council, who were always determined that this amenity area would be a central part to the town and to the community. I think, as Jared said earlier, passers-by on any given evening or weekend will see the activity on this pitch. This is probably the quietest I've seen in a long, long time. And I think, again, as mentioned, the number of soccer clubs who work so well together in running the facility and organising the training sessions and organising the matches. I know my son plays for one of the clubs. They get out onto the pitch, maybe the friendliness ends and that, but it's great to see so many people working together and so many people being here. And I know myself as a secondary school principal and that we're all aware of the reports on children in particular not getting enough exercise, and maybe worries of increased levels of obesity and other health complications. And very often we put it down, or we hear the excuse of a lack of facilities in our community. But I'm sure that there are towns up and down the country, there are communities across the length and breadth of Ireland that would love to have a facility like this here on their doorsteps. It is being very well used, and I hope that will encourage people to get involved in sports, to stay healthy both mentally and physically, which I think is very important for young people nowadays. We're in the Town Council, we're very fortunate to have been in a position to apply for and to secure funding for the development of the all-weather pitch and the floodlighting. And I in particular like to thank Minister Ring and his department for the grant allocation that we did receive. Without it we wouldn't be certainly here today for this opening. I'd also wish to acknowledge the funding that the Department of the Environment, Community and Local Government for the grants that they've given us for the changing room facilities. I think it's a great example of how a town council were able to look for and access different sources of funding to realise developments like this. And I know that this, even though today isn't an opening of this, it's not an end to the plans, and I know that there would be aspirations and plans to apply for funding in the future for dugouts and spectator railings and maybe to upgrade other areas of it. So hopefully, Minister, you'll see more of our applications on your desk, and hopefully you look favourably on them as well in the future. Before inviting the Minister to officially open the park, I wish to put on record our thanks to the contractors who worked on the pitch and the changing rooms, Prunty Pitches and Green Farm Developments respectively. And I'd in particular like to pay great tribute to the members of the local party executive who put such an effort into this. In particular, Conor Craven, who until recently was our rapid coordinator and did so much, not just in this project but in many other projects around the town. I think I'd also like to pay a great tribute to our town manager, Ger Finn, our town and Alan Lyons, our town engineer. Poor Kate, who has to hold the props for me. But I think only for their hard work and effort, we certainly wouldn't be involved in this today. So I'd just like to thank everyone for coming along, to formally welcome the Minister and Mr Delaney here today, and maybe to ask them to officially open Cavan Astroturf.
Thanks, Mayor. John, would you like to say a few words?
Very brief.
Yes.
I was watching poor Kate from behind. She was putting up a great defence there. I was thinking if she was on the pitch with 30 seconds to go last Tuesday night, she might have held it together. Anyway, listen, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the warm welcome. I've been to Cavan many times, but every time you come up, it's always a wonderful welcome, and you appreciate that any time when you go and visit any parts of the country, but particularly here. I would have paid a lot of credit to Cavan Town Council and the local community, because Tom Mohan was telling me about this pitch before you come up, and it's only when you see it that you can get a great vision of it. And it's in the middle of a housing estate, and when I was a young lad playing football or playing soccer in Tipperary, we didn't have facilities like this. And irrespective of your ability, your disability, your colour, your creed, your sex, whatever it is, you have the right to play sport. Killian Sheridan's made a great career out of professional football coming from this part of Ireland. But every kid has the right to play, and every kid has the right to play at his or her highest level. We all know about issues of obesity, alcohol abuse, drug usage, getting kids away from PlayStations onto playing fields. That's what this will deliver. And that's the most important part. I hope it produces a few more Killian Sheridans, but it gives every kid the right to play. And I want to commend Cavan County Council and the local community for what you've done in allowing this facility to be here and allowing the kids to play soccer on this particular facility. So well done to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. It won't be our last time here. We'll be back as the rest of it develops, but it's a wonderful facility. You should be proud of it. Well done. Gurumi Mahmoud. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Now, Minister, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, Ger. Thank you very much, Ger. Mayor Des Cullen, first of all, Mayor, I want to thank you for being here today. Thank you for the very kind and good words that you said there, and I have to compliment you and the Town Council for this brilliant development. I also want to welcome here today, and I'm glad to see them, my Oireachtas colleagues, Joe Riley, Heather Humphreys, and Brendan Smith, and also the Caherlock and the County Council, Paddy Riley, and also the councillors, and John Delaney, CEO of the FAI, and distinguished guests. And I want to thank the media for turning out here today. We need the media, and we need the media in sport, we need the media in politics, we need the media to certainly send out a positive message as well as a negative message. And today is a good news story for Cavan. This is a good news story for these people living in this area, for these brilliant facilities that are here. And as Minister for Sport, as John Delaney has said, what I want to see happening in this country, I want to see a number of things. First thing is, I want to see facilities like this in any place that we can have them. But it's brilliant to see them in the middle of this housing estate. I was speaking to the county manager on the way out, and like it happened in many parts of the country, we've built a lot of houses, we've built put people into them, and no facilities. And I'm glad, like my own town, where we made the same mistakes, put 700 to 800 houses, no facilities, and I'm glad to see that the councils are now rectifying that in my town, in Cavan, and other parts of the country, because that's wrong, where you put 600 or 700 houses and no facilities. But I want to say, compliment the council, but I believe in this particular area, and I have to say this, I believe there's a great voluntary group. And what I want to say to the voluntary group here today, on my own behalf, on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of the government, I want to say to you, the volunteers that go out there 7 days a week, you look after the young boys and the young girls, and you give them an opportunity to play sport in this country. To you, the volunteers, I say thank you on behalf of the government, because if we didn't have volunteers, we wouldn't have facilities like this, and we wouldn't have boys and girls taking part in sport. And I want you all to give a big round of applause for the volunteers.
Well, that was the Junior Minister for Sport there, Michael Dunne, at the official launch of the Astroturf there in Langgam. Well, last week we had the Lions Club as guests in the studio, and they spoke about their initiative Message in the Bottle. Cavan T went along to the launch of Message in the Bottle in the Farnham Hotel last Tuesday evening.
We have the President of the Lions Club, Linda Scott, and the Secretary, Tony Finlay. And then a very successful launch here in the Farnham.
Yes, a good crowd turned out tonight. We're delighted with it.
And Tony, you have a message also, apart from being in the bottle, outside the bottle, of where to collect all these items.
Yes, anyone who wants to collect bottles can call to my premises on the Dublin Road, House of Fabric, and I have a stock of bottles there at any time, open Monday to Saturday, 9:30 to 6, including lunch. Or they can contact me by phone 049 43 32 335.
This initiative is working in conjunction with a number of the voluntary organisations in the county, so you're able to get the message out to a lot of people throughout the county.
Well, that was the plan. We contacted Community Forum, which put it out to all of the local charitable organisations in the area. The idea is to get it out to as many organisations, get it out to as many people, vulnerable people in the areas that we can actually get them to. They're no good to us sitting in boxes.
And it's also stressed that it's not necessarily any particular age profile.
Oh, not at all. It's for young, old, people that are living alone, people with disabilities. Age is irrelevant in this initiative.
And it's not also medication, people who suffer from different particular ailments that may become unconscious. It's also useful to have contact names and even the medication.
Absolutely. Next of kin, if you're an organ donor, all this information can be written on the leaflet that's contained in the bottle. So there's a lot of information can be there for people on it. So, you know, and even if somebody doesn't want to write medication, if they want to write their details, then in the event of something happening, at least someone knows who to contact, what to contact them about. You know, we're happy with that. You know, at least it's there that people have peace of mind. It's all about peace of mind.
You had a good response from the medical professional, including the pharmacies in Cavan.
All of the pharmacists so far in town have agreed to stock the bottles. We've had a couple of the pharmacists are here tonight. They're all delighted to support it, and even in the rural towns they're all delighted to support it as well, so we can't really complain.
So when people would come to somebody's house, if somebody encountered somebody who was fallen or maybe unconscious, it's important that all the documentation is kept up to date.
Absolutely, and as Lorraine Looney here tonight, the pharmacist from Condy Chemist, said that if people bring the leaflet to the chemist, they will gladly fill out all the medication that the person is on, that whoever comes and looks at the bottle knows exactly what medication is required, rather than the person himself filling it out and maybe not just putting out the complete list of medication. The pharmacists have offered that they will gladly fill out the forms and update the forms for people if they bring them to them.
So you must be delighted with the response, and yeah, plenty of your bottles ready for distribution, and we hope that you have a very successful campaign. Plus you also mentioned one more before we wrap up about the So Sad and the suicide prevention stickers. Tony, maybe you'd want to say something?
Just there, these stickers can be put in pubs, restaurants, hotels, toilets, phone kiosks, taxis, anywhere you think that somebody might pick up this information. This is again a Lions Club in Ireland initiative where we give these out free and people bring them along, and anywhere you feel that they should be stuck, we'd gladly like to see them being put up. It basically lets people know there is help out there for those with a suicide tendency.
But also the Lions Club, while they were distributing a lot of this stuff, they also are recruiting. So if anybody who wishes to join the Lions Club for the coming years, maybe Linda, you might talk about how people will make contact with you.
Well, we'd be delighted for people to come along. We're a long-standing club here in Cavan Town, but anybody that is remotely interested would like to know more about the work we actually do in the Lions Club. Any member will talk to them. Come along to us at any stage, ring us. We'd just be delighted to talk to anybody. Anybody that has a couple of hours free in a month. Doesn't matter.
Thank you very much, Linda, and thank you, Tony, from the Message in a Bottle at the Farnham Arms Hotel.
And finally, some breaking news in. It's not so much a missing person story, but as a missing animal story or a monkey story. Circus Corvina was in Granard this week, and on Thursday morning, last Thursday morning, a monkey has been reported missing. So if you see anything strange or a monkey around in the area, please do let the Gardaí know, because the monkey is not able to ring home as he left his mobile at home behind him. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the show, and I'd like to thank this week's guests, Michael Dunne, the PRO for Ballina GAA, and to Jean Cullivan from Cavan. That's it for this week. Do have a good weekend and do take care.